So approaching the boxing ring in the 63.5 kilogram light welterweight contest is Luis Arcon of Venezuela. 15 fights in his professional career, undefeated to date, 14 wins, 13 knockouts and 1 draw. Made his debut back in March 2018 and a decorated IBA boxer during his tenure in the 3-round code.
As he fights out of Tadjikistan, it's Bakhodur Usmonov.
Bakhodur Usmonov of Tajikistan is also a decorated IBA boxer. The current World Championship bronze medalist, winning 4 contests out of 5, losing at the semi-final stage at the recent IBA World Championships in Tashkent at the Humo Arena earlier this year.
Noche, champion of IBA Liga Stavok. Without further ado, your 5 judges being represented here tonight ringside from the United Arab Emirates, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and finally Azerbaijan. And when the action begins, your 6th official in the center of the ring by the bell, representing the global home of boxing right here at the IBA, by way of Moldova with referee Valeriu Bandalac. And now, reintroducing first, fighting out of the black corner. Tonight he enters the ring, 31 years old, weighing in officially at 63.1 kg. He holds a professional record of 14 wins, with 12 of those big wins coming in by way of knockout and only 1 loss. Presenting the 2015 bronze medalist from the Pan American Games. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, representando a Venezuela, Luis Martin the Hawk Arcon. And now, introduces his opponent, fighting out of the gold corner. Tonight he enters the ring at 25 years of age, standing at a height of 174 centimeters tall, coming in officially at 63.5 kgs. Here is, as we present, your gold medalist from the 2019 ASBC light welterweight category and the current bronze medalist of 2023 IBA men's light welterweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, дамы и господа, поприветствуем из Душанбе, Tadjikistan, Bakhodur Usmonov.
Plenty of support in the house for Tajikistan's Bakhodur Usmonov. There's a final check of the equipment of both boxers by our referee.
Okay, gentlemen, attention what you heard, okay? No holding, it's no low blow. Listen, come on. Shake hands and good luck.
Well, there's the tail of the tape, and what a contest we have in store here as 2 undefeated professionals putting their undefeated records on the line here in the 5-round format of the IBA Pro Series of boxing on this Champions Night in Serpukhov. So we're underway. Light welterweight action in the 63.5 kilogram division between experienced operators. A man wearing the black trunks trimmed with gold comes to the ring with a 15-fight professional record, 14 wins, 13 by way of knockout and a single draw. Man who's just scored with a left jab to the body, make that a double left jab to the body, is Bakhodur Usmonov. 6 fights in his professional career, made his professional debut in 2020, was most recently in action in the ring with an 8-round unanimous point decision verdict just earlier this month. Very active indeed, and in between all of that professional activity, as mentioned, I was ringside at the Humo Arena as he's scoring effectively with straight punches to both body and head. I was ringside at the Humo Arena in Tashkent to see him pick up a well-earned World Championship bronze, Tajikistan's 4th medal in IBA World Championship history, losing at the semi-final stage to Chinzarik Bartasuk of Mongolia. 2019 Asian Continental gold medalist at light welterweight, as Arcon scores with a good double jab to the chest. Looking for the jab to the body is Usmonov. And again, snaking out that left hand. See him operating out of a wide-legged stance. Two flat-footed operators who possess a fair amount of pop in their punches. The busier boxer proffering feints, stamping that front foot and letting a three-shot cluster go, most of which were caught on the gloves of Arcon, was Usmonov. There he scores with a beautiful double jab, body then head, in between the elbows, and then jolted the head back of the man from Venezuela. Just over a minute remaining in this opening round. There's the double jab once again, body head followed by a right cross. And wonderful variety being demonstrated by Usmonov. Mentioned how recently that Usmonov was in the boxing ring. This is his fourth contest in the pro ranks of 2023. As for Arcon, well, it's his first outing since January of this year, and he only spent a round in the ring, getting his opponent out of there in the first of a scheduled 6. So perhaps slightly rusty compared to the active Usmonov, who is continuing to score to terrific effect with that lead left hand. Left right to the body of the man from Venezuela. There's the double jab again, body then head. Phlegmatic expression being proffered by Arcon, but he's being put on the end of a point-scoring piston-like lead left hand. You see him looking to get to work with bent arm hooks at mid-range, but a very good round of boxing from Usmonov, who has found his range more immediately and has surely taken that round due to his accuracy and his activity.
Боксируй постоянно, дальняя, средняя дистанция. Ясно? Боксируй по-любительски, спокойно, обыгрывай его. Ясно? Да. И вот смотри, как он тебе вот под эту руку только ложится сюда, сразу же разрывай дистанцию. Он левый боковой.
So into the second round we go. Two undefeated professionals. Produced a terrific opening 3 minutes, but the man wearing the white trunks trimmed with gold, Bakhodur Usmonov, was incredibly active and accurate, particularly with his lead left hand. Set up so much of his offense with straight punches downstairs and changing the angle of the jab. There you see him scoring beneath the elbows once again with straight punches. Arcon trying to respond in the same vein with punches to the body. Good right hand behind the left elbow from Arcon, while Usmonov was looking to get busy. Usmonov, an extensive career in IBA boxing. 2 IBA World Championship appearances, commentated on both of those, where he made it through to the quarterfinals in Kazakhstan 2013. That's the edition where head guards were removed. And at 2015, he participated at 64 kilograms. 2016 Olympian as well. I was ringside at Rio Centro Pavilion 6, where he was eliminated in the first round by the iconic figure of Havanes Bakhodur from Armenia, who made the medal podium again in Tashkent earlier this summer. In addition to all of that, the former national champion of Venezuela has extensive WSB experience with the Venezuela Caciques in the 5-round format of World Series boxing, that team competition that ran so successfully for a number of years. And here he comes forward behind a double left jab and right cross, but Usmonov remaining concentrated and sticking to the game plan wonderfully. Here he finds himself on the inside, but for the most part he has kept this long. Boxers, and again, look at that, body then head, and using his legs to terrific effect, taking advantage of his sharpness. And Arcon, despite that attempted forward foray, inaccurate with his work and not able to inconvenience the man in white. Good left hand to the body scored by Arcon, and perhaps that will just slow the movement of Usmonov a little bit. But so far, the greater volume and variety is being exhibited by Usmonov. who's showing terrific confidence and composure up there in the boxing ring. Good defense with the right hand to block that incoming left hook from Arcon by Usmonov. And again, terrific work, straight punches to the body, then tried to end the attack upstairs to the chin. Couldn't quite find the range, but make no mistake, the punches downstairs were scoring blows. And again, the counter right hand attempted by Arcon going over the left shoulder. That right hand did get through, took his feet with him and found the range with it. But Usmonov continuing to pile up the points behind a snapping lead left hand.
Либо добавлять вторую нижнюю. И следи за его правой рукой. Когда он вращается, он справа пытается отбить. Если сюда уходит, то следишь за левой рукой. Даже все через ноги делать. Надо перед ним застаиваться.
Some of the action from that second round, and again, look at that activity with the hands in at mid-range, even though he's demonstrated his prowess invariably at long range, showing that he's effective in all three territories. Long range, short range and mid range, and the variety presenting an invidious choice for Arcon because he's scoring to both body and head. When the hands come down to trying to protect the torso, the chin is open and Usmonov is finding it with his straight punches. So into the third round we go. Usmonov facing his fourth opponent with an undefeated record tonight. As for Louis Arcon, he's facing his second opponent with a perfect record. Somebody going to lose their perfect ledger tonight. Unless, of course, we have a draw, but given the way the first two rounds have been boxed by Usmonov, it's going to take quite a turnaround. But remember, this is 5-round boxing. Doesn't hold fears for either man because Usmonov has been the 8-round distance on 2 occasions, including most recently earlier this month in Yekaterinburg. For Arcon, he also has been the 8-round distance in his 11th contest, and that is the one bout on his record that isn't a win. It was a draw over 8 rounds against the aforementioned perfect record of Abraham Martinez. That's a slip, the gloves wiped clean, and the action resumes. Right hand to the body attempted, blocked by the left elbow of Arcon. And again, any boxer, any coach will tell you that activity is often a boxer's best friend. And Usmonov has been active in the boxing ring. And again, beautiful counter left hand after a lunging left was missed by Arcon. Step back and then encored a bent arm left hook that caught the advancing Arcon to double up the impact. Terrific punch picking by Usmonov, who is continuing to demonstrate wonderful composure. Straight punches again, not loading up, but just continuing to peck and poke and touch up the chin and torso of his opponent. Still, well, 2 rounds and a minute to go, but Arcon has got to do something to try and turn the tide in his favor for my money, because he's being outpointed, outworked and outboxed for the 2 rounds that have been completed, and indeed here in the third. Usmonov appearing altogether sharper, finding his rhythm, his range, his flow right from the opening bell. And I say that both of these men won't be frightened of the 5-round distance, but if Arcon keeps getting touched up at the rate that he is, well, that's going to dull and deplete his speed, his energy levels, and it will make a comeback altogether more difficult. But that is what he requires here for my money, because he's being put under constant pressure, threatened to become cussed by 1,000 pinpricks here tonight, continually being touched up to both head and body. Wonderful volume and variety coming from the flashing fists of Usmonov. And Arcon, well, he was in danger of being overwhelmed in the closing stages of that third round. Terrific activity from the energetic boxing of Bakhodur Usmonov. And his compatriots, if that flag draped around the shoulders of the man in the baseball cap is anything to go by, well, they are absolutely delighted. Well, there is the contest in microcosm for my money. And then there's the counter left hook after Arcon was made to miss and then made to pay. Terrific work from Usmonov, and his confidence must be sky high with 6 minutes remaining. But of course, that is one of the magnificent and indeed beautiful things about our sport. It can all be turned in the blink of an eye with a perfectly placed blow. So his concentration is going to have to remain dialed in, but he has to be ahead by a country mile with 9 minutes of boxing completed, and he's begun the fourth round in the same vein, snapping out that lead left hand like a wind-up toy that doesn't run out of energy with its dynamo. Absolutely terrific work, but there's a right hand over the top. And remember, of the 14 victories in his 15-fight ledger, 13 of them have come via the short route for Luis Arcon. So that tells you that he is a puncher. Will he be able to exhibit that power? You see him continually, contemptuously shaking his head as if to tell Usmonov that these punches aren't troubling him, and that may well be the case, but they're certainly catching the eye of the judges and putting rounds in the bank for Usmonov. And to his credit, oh, there he takes a right-left combination from Arcon. But again, gets right back behind his disciplined boxing stance and continuing to score with the left hand. There he turned it into a half hook, half uppercut, and then got back behind straight punches once again. Oh, terrific work. Left hooks underneath, right hands over the top. Bent arm successes for Usmonov. And the two-shot salvo, the right uppercut rips the head to the side of Arcon, and so quelling any rebellion that Arcon was looking to mount by going through the gears and letting his hands go in combination fashion. This is a terrific exhibition of punch picking from Bakhodur Usmonov. Arcon found his range with a two-shot combination, but then after that, Usmonov, perhaps disappointed that he was tagged so cleanly, just went through the gears and peppered his man incessantly for about the following 40 seconds. There's a beautiful left hook off the back foot from Usmonov, and then he follows it up with another four-shot combination. Arcon must feel as though he's trying to box in a blizzard. Non-stop leather being slung in his direction, and his boxing stance betraying him now, stealing a glance to his corner, and that could well be the sign of a fatiguing fighter. Because again, we posed the point earlier that he's been touched up so often that this could well be depleting his energy levels more than he is able to discern. It's not as though he's been shook by heavy punches from a banger, but he's been hit so often that his energy levels must be being depleted. And his boxing stance looking a little bit ragged to me here now. And the punches having an increasingly pronounced effect, shaking him down to his boots, even though there's not any more discernible pop on them. Swaying in the ropes. Brilliant fourth round of boxing from Bakhodur Usmonov. My goodness. Volume and variety in abundance once again. And he hit Luis Arcon with every punch in the book during that penultimate round. What a round for the reigning IBA third place finisher at the World Championships. An example of some of the... Now that was a good right hand from Arcon. There was another two-shot success. But the response that came from Usmonov in reaction to those successes enjoyed by Arcon, well, he turned the remainder of the round into practically one-way traffic. Non-stop action from both fists. And Arcon, well, how quickly, how effectively have his energy levels recovered in that 1 minute interval. before the bell to begin the 5th round. Bakhodur Usmonov, that left hand working as though it's a trip hammer, constantly snaking out to both head and body. And Arcon, again, being pushed onto the back foot, hasn't been able to set his feet. Look at the cluster of punches getting in between his black gloves, and again, forced to hold his feet and just absorb these pecking, poking punches coming from the 2023 World Championship bronze medalist. This is a magnificent display of boxing from a man in form, from a man who is flowing beautifully, and Arcon unable to do anything to deter or dispel the attacks that are coming in his direction. All smiles among the Tajikistan supporters. Big swing and a miss. That may have been the last roll of the dice from Arcon, because surely his only hope of victory now is to get his man out of there inside the distance. But after that big swing and a miss, takes a left-right combination and then uppercuts and hooks, continuing to check his chin. And Arcon has got more than half of the round to survive, and he will do well to survive it if Usmonov keeps up this accurate, unrelenting assault coming in from both flanks, giving his man angles, able to score. Look at the sharpness in his movements, and in contrast, well, Arcon wilting down to the canvas for the 2nd time in the bout. Just beyond the halfway stage, Arcon breathing through an open mouth, his movements appearing far more languid, far less crisp than those of his opponent from Tajikistan. And again, it's a languid left jab that came back to the belt line, and against a sharp shooting puncher, a punch picker like Usmonov, that could well be countered by a right cross to the chin before he's had time to get it back to the on-guard position. He's giving the impression of being a weary fighter now, and so it's his intangibles of desire that are going to be put to the test in this remaining 50 seconds. Usmonov hasn't really put his foot to the floor as he did in the 4th round here in the 5th. Doing a good job of managing the bout, keeping himself out of harm's way, but there's a cluster of activity just to keep the judges on his side. My goodness, body and head success once again. Hooks, uppercuts, penetrating the attempted defenses of the man from Venezuela. He hits nothing but air as he attempts to counter in a bid to find a finishing combination. Closing seconds of the 5th round of what has been a masterful display from Bakhodur Usmonov. And the 2015 Pan Am Games bronze medalist has been beaten to a distant 2nd best here in this contest. Bakhodur Usmonov set his stall out from the opening bell and set about his man in incessant fashion. What an ovation he is receiving. And again, body language from boxers so instructive. Luis Arcon knows that he has been bested tonight by some distance, and Bakhodur Usmonov will extend his perfect professional ledger to 7-0. As for Luis Arcon, well, in this, his 16th professional contest, he's going to be on the losing end for the first time, because he could simply not get to grips with the non-stop, all-action style of the accurate Bakhodur Usmonov. What a display from the man from Tajikistan. Well, we suggested that the 1st round success that Usmonov enjoyed may be down to ring rust that Arcon was trying to shed. Remember, just his 2nd outing of 2023, while Usmonov has been out, well, this is 4th outing in the pro ring, not to mention winning 4 contests out of 5 at the IBA World Championships in Uzbekistan. But this was an example of how his accuracy was able to snake his gloves through the defenses. Look at that. And then ending the combination with a sickening left hook to the body. Those replay sequences epitomizing the work that Bakhodur Usmonov was able to exhibit tonight. And he knows that he is about to have his hand raised as the victor and will be $15,000 US richer. Let's get the official announcement.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, damai и господа, this bout comes to a close after going to be 5 3-minute rounds in a light welterweight 63.5 kg matchup. Before we go to the judges' scorecard, we'd like to kindly invite into the center of the ring to present the award ceremony our IBA sports director, representing the home of global boxing by way of Slovenia, with Marko Petric. Ladies and gentlemen, after being 5 rounds for 3 minutes, we go to the judges' scorecard. This bout was officially sponsored by general sponsor Liga Stavok, general sponsor Večera Boks i Noć Championov IBA Liga Stavok. And now for the official judges' decision. After being 5 3-minute rounds in a light welterweight 63.5 kg matchup, all your judges see it the same way. Ruling in favor of your winner by points, declared by unanimous decision. To the goal corner is Tadjikistan, Bakhodur Usmonov.
So, Bakhodur Usmonov with a unanimous point decision victory over Luis Arcon, taking the O of the previously undefeated professional. His record now stands at 14 wins, 1 defeat and 1 draw, but there is the victor, standing proudly behind that Tajikistan flag and the novelty check for $15,000. But make no mistake, even though it's novelty in size, that will be inserted into his bank account and will help his family's fortunes going forward. A terrific performance from the 2023 IBA World Championship bronze medalist Bakhodur Usmonov, practically punch perfect from opening bell to last during the 5 rounds of that 63.5 kilogram light welterweight bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue the action here live in the beautiful